All right, so imagine this. You've got a guy, he's disabled, already dealing with more than his fair share. He gets a settlement. Over 100 grand. Not like buy a yacht money, but finally breathe a little, get some stability money. This is his golden ticket to, not living under a bridge. And then, the betrayal.
The betrayal. Not like, oh, she ate the last slice of pizza I was saving betrayal. No, this is like she activated a full-scale, deeply layered, multi-tiered Operation Steal Your Everything betrayal. And it started with the most sacred of American dreams, a roof over his head.
A roof that was apparently made of lies and papier-mâché, strategically placed over a quicksand pit. Because the minute he gets this money, the mother of his children and one of her family members, which, side note, always adds an extra layer of oh no when it's a family tag team, swoop in, not to cheer him on, no, but to orchestrate what sounds like a masterclass in how to turn a good thing into a disaster movie.
A disaster movie directed by M. Night Shyamalan, because the twist isn't just that she's bad. The twist is that she's the key to all the other badness. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. First, the housing. The let's get you a place in Delaware County, Pennsylvania pitch. Sounds idyllic, right? Green lawns, maybe a nice porch. Rent to own. The American dream, baby.
Rent to own, which in this case appears to translate to rent to own our eternal gratitude for your cash, while you own exactly nothing. It's the classic bait and switch, but with a disability multiplier. He's vulnerable, he's trying to stabilize his life, he gets this big chunk of change, and instead of a foundation, they hand him a house of cards built on a swamp.
It's like offering someone who just won the lottery a guaranteed investment opportunity in a bridge you claim to own. But this bridge isn't even for sale, and it's actually just a plank of wood over a puddle, and the puddle is actually filled with piranhas, and the piranhas are also in on the scam. It's layers of no good. This isn't just misdirection. This is misdirection with a spotlight and a brass band playing behind it.
And the sad part is he's trying to do the right thing. He wants stability for himself and his kids. He's thinking, okay, I got this money. I'm going to put it into something real, something tangible. And they're like, oh, we've got just the thing. It's a house that you will never own, and we will take your money. It's less rent to own and more rent to lose all your dignity and money.
It's the ultimate trust fall, where the people you trust most just take a vacation while you plunge into a canyon. And the canyon is also full of paperwork that says you're legally obligated to plunge even deeper. It's not just a housing misunderstanding. It's a housing misunderstanding that fundamentally reshapes your entire perception of human decency.
Seriously, you get this settlement, you're on the cusp of building something, and the people closest to you become human-shaped wrecking balls, not just for your finances, but for your entire sense of security. It's like they saw the money, and instead of seeing opportunity for him, they saw a giant sucker written in flashing neon lights over his head. And then they pointed it out to the family member like, hey, get a load of this guy.
Yeah, the family member is just the sidekick, the yes man in this villain origin story. Like, sure, let's con the disabled father of your children. What a great family bonding activity. This isn't just an alleged theft by deception. This is a masterclass in making a bad situation significantly, dramatically, and almost cartoonishly worse. Like, how many layers of betrayal can one person experience before they just start living in a hermetically sealed bubble, feeding pigeons?
A bubble that's also probably being surveilled by someone she gave access to. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. The core here is that this money, meant for a fresh start, became the very thing that opened the door to his exploitation. It wasn't the settlement that was the problem. It was the ravenous sharks that circled the second the money hit the account. And one of them was the mother of his kids.
It's like a financial honey trap, but instead of honey, it's a pile of cash, and instead of a trap, it's a full-on, meticulously planned deception vortex designed to suck him dry. All under the guise of,
helping him find stability. Stability in this context clearly meant financially stable for us. The irony is so thick you could spread it on toast, if the toast was also part of the scam.
And the toast has hidden cameras because that's where we're going. This isn't just a landlord-tenant dispute. It's a betrayal so deep it has its own gravitational pull dispute. The money was just the initial accelerant.
The accelerant for a dumpster fire of trust issues that will probably require therapy for decades and maybe a small army of lawyers.
Then probably a hazmat suit just to read the paperwork, because that's where the real horror show begins. The actual paperwork.
The paperwork. Oh, the paperwork. Always the paperwork. The silent betrayer, sitting there in triplicate, just waiting to expose the truth. It's like the moment in every spy movie where the hero finally gets their hands on the real dossier. And it just says, "You've been bamboozled, son."
Exactly. So you've got this vulnerable guy. He's just received a settlement, over $100,000. He's thinking, finally, a fresh start, a home. And he's relying on the word of the mother of his children, right? Because who else are you going to trust in that scenario? You're not going to hire an international real estate lawyer the minute you get settlement money.
No, you're going to trust the person who presumably has some sort of vested interest in the well-being of your shared offspring, and by extension, you, the co-parent. But no, apparently that trust was less of a bond and more of a really flimsy fishing net made of dental floss. And the fish, he was the fish, a disabled fish trying to swim to stability in Delaware County, Pennsylvania.
A disabled fish who thought he was swimming to a cozy little fish house, but instead it was a lobster trap labeled rent to own, and the bait was his entire life savings. So the pitch, the whole song and dance, was rent to own, genuine path to security, long-term stability, ownership. These are key words, right? These are the siren songs of home ownership, especially for someone trying to get on their feet.
These are the buzzwords that unlock the trust vault in your brain. Security, stability, ownership. It's like they had a focus group on what a disabled man with settlement money would most want to hear. And they delivered, with a smile probably. A really unsettling smile that said, "This is going to be so easy."
But then, the actual paperwork, the cold, hard reality of the legally binding documents, which apparently looked less like a path to ownership and more like a scavenger hunt where all the clues lead to you own nothing and we own everything, including your hopes and dreams. It's the ultimate legal rug pull.
The paperwork was probably written in invisible ink that only appeared after he'd signed and the money had cleared, and then it says, "Welcome to the Matrix, you're still renting, but now you've also paid for our new car." It's a contradiction so stark, it almost feels like a punchline, except the punchline is his life savings.
It's not just a contradiction, it's a glaring, neon sign blinking misrepresentation that he couldn't see because it was behind the smiling face of the mother of his children. It's the kind of deception that makes you want to print out the paperwork, frame it, and hang it in a gallery of human cruelty.
Yeah, call it The Deception of Stability, a Delaware County fable, featuring a real estate contract that doubles as a legal comedy of errors, except it's not funny. It's actually deeply tragic. And it makes you wonder, at what point do you go from misunderstanding the terms to actively orchestrating a theft by deception?
Right, because there's a difference between a clumsy oversight and a meticulously crafted narrative designed to separate someone from their hard-earned, hard-won money. This wasn't, oops, we forgot to mention the clause about the flying squirrels. This was, we actively constructed a financial illusion, and you were the audience of one.
An audience of one who then paid for the entire production. It's like watching a magic show where the magician convinces you your wallet is empty, and then you discover it's actually in his pocket. And he's already spent it on a new top hat for his family member.
And the family member is just standing there holding up a sign that says he fell for it. It's not just about the money, though that's a huge part of it. It's about that foundational trust. The belief that when someone tells you this is for your future, they actually mean Your future, not their future, paid for by you.
It's a masterclass in psychological warfare dressed up in a real estate transaction. You're leveraging someone's desire for safety and stability against them using their own resources to do it. It's like teaching a bird to fly by pushing it out of the nest, but then secretly sawing off its wings mid-air and then charging it for the fall.
The fall into a legal abyss, specifically, and the alleged theft by deception and financial exploitation of a disabled person with settlement funds. That's not just a casual oopsie, that's a serious allegation that carries the weight of a freight train. A freight train full of bad intentions, barreling down the tracks of broken promises.
A freight train that then tries to sell you the tracks themselves, claiming they're rent to own even though they're already public property. This isn't just a betrayal, Chloe. This is like a betrayal wearing a trench coat, dark glasses, and a fake mustache, pretending to be your best friend while secretly swapping out your organs for novelty toys. The housing was just the appetizer.
And the main course, the mother of his children became personally and intimately disloyal, as in cheating, which on its own is a terrible breach of trust. But then it escalates because she's allegedly cheating with individuals involved in hacking, stalking, harassing, and oppressing him. It's not just infidelity, it's a full-blown Trojan horse situation.
A Trojan horse that brought in a whole army of digital terrorists and emotional saboteurs. This isn't just, oops, I cheated. This is, oops, I cheated with people who are actively trying to dismantle your life, and now they have a direct line to the command center. It's like discovering your spouse is having an affair, and their lover is the head of the opposing intelligence agency.
Exactly. So not only is she betraying him intimately, but she's doing it with people who are, by definition, his enemies. Instead of protecting him from hostile actors, she's aligning with them. It transforms a private relationship issue into something far more sinister. It's like giving the bank robbers your alarm codes and then holding the door for them.
And then making them a cup of coffee while they empty the vault. It's an internal betrayal that grants external hostile actors deeper access. It's like finding out your co-pilot is actually the supervillain you've been fighting, and he's been subtly sabotaging the controls the whole time, and he has a secret lair in your house, and he's dating your co-pilot.
Oh, that's layers of oh no. Because she allegedly gave these people, these hackers and stalkers, access to his devices, his private environment, his evidence, and his paperwork. It's not just knowing a secret, it's handing over the keys to the entire kingdom, the digital kingdom and the physical kingdom.
The entire kingdom. It's like she gave them a master key, a blueprint of his life, and a detailed schedule of his movements. It's not just, oops, I left my laptop open. It's, I actively facilitated a full-scale invasion of privacy. This is like the ultimate, tell me your secrets so I can give them to the people who will use them to destroy you maneuver.
And the devices. In today's world, our devices are our lives. Our phones, our computers, they hold everything. Our bank accounts, our communications, our personal thoughts. Giving hostile actors access to that is like giving them a direct feed into your brain. It's like a mind-reading machine, but instead of benign curiosity, it's for sabotage.
A mind-reading machine that then shouts all your deepest, darkest secrets through a megaphone in Times Square. And the megaphone is also recording everything you say. It's the ultimate, tell me your secrets, evidence compromise, manipulation, interference, sabotage, and loss of strategic protection. That's not just a laundry list of bad things. That's a full syllabus for how to systematically dismantle a human being's life 101.
And the evidence and paperwork, that's crucial. He's dealing with housing disputes, legal matters, medical matters. He's trying to build a case, preserve his rights, and she's allegedly letting the very people he's trying to fight just waltz in and browse his files like it's a library where all the books are about him, and the librarians are evil.
Evil librarians who then take notes and sell them to his enemies. It's not just compromising evidence, it's actively undermining his ability to defend himself. It's like a chess match where your opponent has bribed your pawns to switch sides and steal your queen. And then they get to read your strategy notes mid-game. This is not how you play chess. This is how you cheat at chess and then get arrested for it.
It's a total breakdown of any sense of safety or control. You rely on your private spaces, your personal devices, your documents to be, well, private and personal. And when the person closest to you allegedly allows them to be compromised, it's like your entire world just got turned inside out and examined under a microscope by your worst enemies.
Under a microscope, and then they're making little cartoon drawings of your most vulnerable moments and posting them on a giant billboard. This isn't just about, oh, a little peek into my life. This is, my life has become a public spectacle for the amusement and strategic advantage of people who want to cause me harm. It's the ultimate violation.
And the fact that it's the mother of his children who allegedly enables this, that's the part that truly curdles the blood. It's one thing for a stranger to be a hostile actor, it's another entirely for the person who shares children with you, who you presumably trusted with your family, to open the digital backdoor for the actual goblins.
The actual goblins. The literal goblins who are specifically interested in hacking, stalking, and harassing. It's not like she just accidentally left the door open and a squirrel ran in. She allegedly opened the door, laid out a red carpet, and provided catering for the entire goblin horde. A horde that probably downloaded his entire photo library too, just for fun, or for blackmail. Probably both.
And the fact that he's already vulnerable and under pressure, trying to preserve evidence related to housing and other disputes, this just ratchets up the stakes to an insane degree. It's like someone is already teetering on a tightrope, and then the person underneath holding the safety net starts poking holes in it with a pitchfork while also juggling chainsaws.
While also throwing rotten tomatoes at the tightrope walker and screaming, "Fall! Fall!" It's not just a betrayal, it's a systematic undermining of every single defense mechanism he has. This isn't just a partner who strayed. This is a strategic asset who switched sides and burned the whole intelligence agency down from the inside, and probably stole the coffee machine on the way out.
The coffee machine probably had his sensitive legal documents shoved inside it, because at this point, nothing is safe. His living space, his digital life, his personal documents, all of it compromised. It's a total erasure of privacy. He describes it as a trusted insider, making it easier for hostile people to monitor him, anticipate his actions, interfere, and gain leverage.
Gain leverage. That's the terrifying part. It's not just about inconvenience. It's about giving your enemies a literal playbook of your vulnerabilities. It's like they're playing a real-life video game where he's the character and the mother of his children is the player who just handed the controller to the ultimate boss. And then she went out for ice cream with the boss.
And then allegedly gave the boss the codes for infinite lives and special power-ups. This is beyond mere betrayal. This is weaponized intimacy. It's using the deepest level of trust to inflict the deepest level of harm. The kind of harm that doesn't just stop at financial or emotional, it seeps into the very fabric of his being.
The very fabric, because get this, he also alleges that this conduct placed his body in further danger. The overall stress, betrayal, stalking, pressure, intrusion, and destabilization didn't just cause emotional pain. He states that he now has 2 disabilities affecting him neurologically. This is where it goes from terrible to truly catastrophic.
2 neurological disabilities. This isn't just someone having a bad day because their ex cheated. This is a direct link, or at least an alleged link, between sustained systematic torment and profound physical health degradation. It's like the psychological stress was so immense, it manifested as a physical, tangible disease. It's not just emotional damage, it's brain damage.
Actual, literal brain damage, potentially. That's what's being alleged here. It's like the betrayal was so potent, it created a neurological black hole that just started sucking his health into it. You hear about stress-related illnesses, but 2 neurological disabilities? That's not just a stress headache, that's a my brain is actively revolting against this level of maliciousness headache.
It implies that the constant state of fear, the privacy invasion, the knowledge that his life was being picked apart by hostile actors, combined with the financial fraud, just shattered his nervous system. This isn't just about money or a relationship. It's about the literal destruction of a person's physical well-being. It's like they didn't just steal his money, they stole his functioning brain cells.
stole his functioning brain cells, and then probably tried to sell them back to him in a rent-to-own scheme. This makes the matter one of heightened vulnerability and potentially heightened damages. Heightened damages is the legal term for you're not just getting sued for a few bucks, you're getting sued for making someone's brain literally malfunction because you were so awful.
It elevates the entire situation from a civil dispute about money to a profound question of human cruelty and its physical repercussions. It's no longer just about financial exploitation, it's about causing direct bodily harm through psychological torture. It's like they poisoned him with anxiety, and the toxin turned into neurological issues.
It's a form of assault, essentially. An emotional, psychological, and financial assault that manifested physically, like a villain with a very specific slow-acting stress-induced toxin. And the antidote was probably locked in a safe they also got the code to, and then changed the code.
And then told the antidote to cheat on him with a hacker, because that's the level of layered betrayal we're talking about here. This isn't just he said, she said. This is he said, she said while facilitating external actors to hack his devices, steal his evidence, and actively worsen his neurological condition.
Yeah, the she said part probably came with a very convincing yet completely false smile, the kind of smile that hides 1,000 tiny daggers, all aimed at his central nervous system. It means this whole thing isn't just a breakup gone wrong, it's a full-scale, life-altering, brain-altering catastrophe.
It's the ultimate bad romance turned into a crime thriller where the victim is literally losing his mind because of the machinations of the person he trusted. The stakes are impossibly high. His entire future, his health, his ability to function, all of it impacted.
Impacted to the point of permanent neurological damage. This isn't just breaking someone's heart. This is allegedly breaking their brain and then charging them for the privilege, probably with a misleading rent-to-own contract for the brain damage itself. You own 0% of your current neurological functions, but you're paying 100% of the cost.
And the cost is immeasurable because how do you put a price on losing your neurological function? This takes it to a completely different legal and ethical dimension. It makes every single other offense, the housing fraud, the privacy invasion, it all look like small potatoes compared to the alleged physical harm.
The small potatoes that also contributed to the physical harm. It's all connected. The stress of the housing scam, the invasion of privacy, the constant harassment, it all snowballs into this physical manifestation. It's like a betrayal-induced illness, which sounds like a medical condition you'd only find in a very, very dark legal textbook, with a chapter on Delaware County, Pennsylvania.
And a picture of the rent-to-own contract as the primary diagnostic tool. This whole thing is a masterclass in how many ways you can exploit a vulnerable person. Financially, emotionally, physically, it's a full spectrum attack. And the person who was supposed to be his closest ally was allegedly leading the charge.
Leading the charge, providing the intel, and probably holding up a sign that says, "I'm with the neurological damage." It's a level of malice that's truly unsettling. This isn't just greed took over. This is greed took over and decided to take a hammer to someone's brain on the way out the door.
A very precise slow-motion hammer, because it didn't happen overnight. It was a sustained campaign of psychological and financial exploitation that culminated in physical harm. The ultimate bad investment. You invest trust, you lose everything, including parts of your brain, and you paid for it.
Paid for it with a $100,000 settlement. This is not just a tragedy, it's profound injustice that screams for legal redress. And medical proof, obviously, but just the allegations alone are enough to make you want to send that family member and the mother of his kids to a very, very long time out, with no devices, ever.
No devices, no access to anyone else's devices, and certainly no access to any rent-to-own contracts. The legal framing here is extensive. Theft by deception, housing fraud or misrepresentation, financial exploitation of a disabled person. Those are the big ones right out of the gate for the housing part.
Oh, but it doesn't stop there. We also have wrongful inducement to invest money into a false or misleading housing arrangement. It's like, we didn't just trick you, we induced you. We made you want to be tricked, which sounds like a magic trick gone horribly, illegally wrong. Like abracadabra, your money's gone, and now it's our money. Presto.
Presto, and now you have two neurological disabilities. Then you get into the personal stuff. Invasion of privacy. Unauthorized access facilitation. That's for letting the hackers and stalkers into his digital life and private environment. That's like the digital equivalent of breaking and entering, but she just gave him the key.
She didn't just give him the key. She probably left a little welcome hostile actors mat out front and a plate of cookies, freshly baked, with his personal data. Then there's interference with evidence or documents. That's the part where they just casually browse his legal papers and use them against him. That's not just rude, that's legally calamitous.
Legally calamitous and strategically devastating. It completely neutralizes any attempt he might make to protect himself, and harassment or stalking-related misconduct, because these hostile actors weren't just passively sitting there, they were actively causing distress. It's a whole orchestra of bad actors, and she's the conductor.
The conductor, who is also dating the first chair violinist, who happens to be a hacker. It's like a villains convention where she's the keynote speaker, and then the big one. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. This isn't just, oops, I hurt your feelings. This is, I meticulously crafted a scenario designed to cause you maximum psychological anguish, and then I kept turning up the dial.
And the dial went all the way to 2 neurological disabilities, which brings us to the damages connected to worsening neurological disability if medical proof supports the timeline. This is where it goes from bad to civil court record breaking. This isn't just a fine. This is potentially life-altering compensation for life-altering harm.
Life-altering compensation for life-altering harm caused by a person he trusted, who also brought in her family member and a gaggle of hackers and stalkers, all while pretending to help him buy a house in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. It's like a greatest hits of betrayal album, but every track is a crime, and the album cover is that fake rent-to-own contract.
It's a quadruple threat: money, housing, privacy, and health, all systematically targeted and allegedly destroyed. It's like they drew a bullseye on his life and then used the mother of his children as the human dart. A very complicit human dart.
A human dart that then whispered all his weaknesses to the target. This isn't just betrayal, it's strategic siege. It's betrayal plus access plus money plus vulnerability. Those aren't just keywords. Those are the ingredients for a legal and personal catastrophe stew. A really chunky, unappetizing stew with extra neurological damage on top.
And the broth is made of broken trust. So this wasn't just a breakup issue or a housing misunderstanding, as the input says. It was a situation where a disabled man received money that could have helped him build stability, and the very people closest to him allegedly used that moment to betray him.
Used it to betray him, to mislead him in a housing arrangement, expose him to people acting against him, stripped him of privacy through access to devices and paperwork, and left him in worse neurological condition. It's a full house of horror. But instead of cards, it's court documents. And instead of a full house, it's a full jail.
A full jail of people who thought they could get away with exploiting someone vulnerable. So we've talked about the settlement money, the vulnerable man, the deceptive housing in Delaware County, the rent-to-own lie, the mother of his children and her family member, the intimate betrayal, the hackers and stalkers she allegedly aligned with, the access to devices and private environment and evidence, the privacy invasion, the evidence compromise, and the worsening neurological health resulting in 2 disabilities. Did we miss anything?
We covered the theft by deception, housing fraud, financial exploitation, wrongful inducement, unauthorized access facilitation, interference with documents, harassment, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and the heightened damages. That's like a full bingo card of badness, a badness bingo that you definitely don't want to win or even play, especially if the prize is neurological damage.
So the core theme is betrayal, plus access, plus money, plus vulnerability. It's like the Captain Planet of terrible situations. But instead of hard fire, wind, water, earth, it's betrayal, access, money, vulnerability, and neurological damage. By your powers combined, I am
A lawsuit.
A massive, undeniable lawsuit. It's a story that needs to be heard. So if you know anyone who needs to hear about how deeply, ridiculously, and tragically people can betray someone, especially someone vulnerable, send them this episode. We basically just laid out a whole case study in how not to.